All right, welcome into Prop 5 of the 5 Reasons YouTube channel. I'm Ethan Skolnick. You can follow me at Ethan J. Skolnick at 5 Reasons Sports. I got David Eversole. You can follow him at David W. Eversole. He's also producing today. We'll have more content over the weekend. I'm just sweating out this Josh Hart play. I don't know why I keep getting caught with these blowouts. But anyway, here we are. We've got the Warriors. We've got the Wolves. It's game 3. No Steph Curry again. The Warriors put up a bit of a fight in the last game against the Wolves, particularly after Anthony Edwards rolled his ankle. But Edwards did return. Ultimately, a pretty decent game from Julius Randle. Minnesota makes it 1-1 going back to Golden State. So still no Steph Curry today, David. I'm going to start with the Jimmy Butler plays. Look, I know that everybody's waiting for playoff Jimmy. I don't think it's in there consistently. I don't. I know some of the Jimmy stands who follow our network believe it is. He basically, since he's gone to Golden State, has been 17-6-6. It's a good player, but you look at what he did in the last game. He was 17-8-4. That is basically what he's been on 45% shooting. He says he can shoot and score more if he wants to. I think the length of Minnesota, particularly Jay McDaniels, gives him trouble. So I went over on his free throw attempts last game, and I was wrong on that. I'm not going to make that mistake again. But I'm going under on his fantasy score, 43.5. If you look at the overall numbers here lately, he did hit it in game 1 against Minnesota, but again, the way that game flow went, it kind of necessitated him doing that. But he was only 32.5 in the last game, and again, that's at 17-8-4. You're talking about a 30% increase in his overall production. I just don't see it. You could look at some of these other numbers, of 30.5 points and rebounds. I'd rather just take the overall score and say that I just don't think he's going to be all that impactful. Honestly, the guy that I'm looking at on the Golden State side is Kuminga. Like, they have no choice now but to involve him. I know he doesn't seem to be Kerr's favorite player, but he made like his first 7 shots in the last game. He attempted 11 field goal attempts in the last game. They have him at 11.5 this game. I don't know if I would play that over, but when I look at his overall numbers, 5 field goals made. I mean, I could see that happening. He had 8 in the last game. I'm going to play him over on the 5 field goals made. So that's where I'm going, is with Kuminga in this game. They got to get scoring punch from somewhere. Kerr's not an idiot. I think he knows he can't just rely on Jimmy to do it. So that's where I'm going. You want to go to the Minnesota side?
Yeah, just real quick. I think with Golden State too, you got to look at some volume type guys, and Buddy Hield comes to mind. I feel like he's one of those guys that could get hot and drop 25 in this game, because the thing about Jimmy, like if he's not taking over the game and he's a facilitator and a rebounder, that means other guys are going to have to carry the offense. And like you said, I don't see Jimmy as an A1 scorer. I'm going to carry the offense typically, especially like you said, with Minnesota's athleticism, their length. I think they're going to try to get the ball out of his hands and make other guys beat him. So, to me, Buddy Hield is the guy I feel like, can kind of go off in this game at the 14.5 points.
I could see it. I'll tell you one more that I like on their side. I might play Pat Spencer over on the low numbers today. Feel like he'll get a little bit of burn with what they're looking at. Minnesota, Anthony Edwards is not 100%. It's pretty clear. He's hurt the ankle 3 times now. He rolled it in the last game, and yet his number is half a dunk. I think he'll get a dunk. He even had one in the last game after he rolled the ankle. He doesn't have quite the same explosion. Let me play him over on that. I was thinking of playing his 3-point attempts over, because I think he'll stay a little bit more out at the 3-point line overall. But he's only had 9 3-point attempts over the last 2 games, which is way down for him. And the number today is 9. So I'm not really sure about that. I'm not going to play him over the 26 points. I might play him under, if anything. I feel like they're just going to try to nurse him through this series. He's not exactly himself. What do you like?
I like this combo. Well, I like this combo with Ant and Buddy Hield at 6.5 threes. I could see that. I could see that as a possibility. Like you said, if Ant's not going to the basket as much, and I kind of like the combo with Jimmy at 11.5 assists as well. But Naz Reid, I mean, he's been shooting really well in the playoffs, and I think the depth of Minnesota gives him an advantage. It all depends on volume with Reid, but I like the Goblin at 1.5 3 points made, and I would also maybe taking a shot at one of these point and rebound or one of these goes with him as well. But I like Nas Reed in this game to make an impact.
Okay, I always like Nas Reed, so I'm just a big fan of him personally. You look at the overall numbers there again, the 19 points, rebounds, and assists. I could see him going over that in this game. They got more production out of Randall in the last game, I think, than they expected. Even the first half, they played through him
Big
quite a bit,
assist numbers
especially
for Randall.
Edwards. Yeah, well, again, they're going to play through him more if Ant is not 100%, and Conley doesn't handle quite as much as he used to. But those are some of our major plays today. Use the code FIVE. Get your $50 right away. Well, you got to actually have to play it. So you put it down and you play it, and then you get your money. Use the code FIVE. Again, you can also play NHL Stanley Cup playoffs tonight, MLB tonight, MLS tonight. Messi is starting, but it doesn't look like he's going to play very long. Seems like a ghost start. So I don't know if he's on the board tonight, but I would not play him. But those are some of our plays tonight. And I'm going to go back to sweating out Josh Hart getting 2 more points in a blowout in the last 6 minutes of the fourth quarter. Have a good one, everybody.
I'll go back to sleep.